Good afternoon, everyone. I want to welcome you to discussing a little bit about Stellenbosch University LaunchLab and our collaboration with the Faculty of AgriSciences. We've made a very concerted effort to grow entrepreneurism together and to give you access to a number of different entrepreneurial courses and tools that can help you start a business, can help you make better decisions in life, and can hopefully even allow you to have more fun during your agri-science career and what you've been doing within the faculty. So we're going to take you through that for a little while today, and then would always ask that at the end, we'll give you our email addresses as well as a link to our website. Always feel free to follow up and ask any questions because we want to make sure that you have all the necessary info. So Stellenbosch University LaunchLab, our mission is to transform seemingly impossible ideas into world-shaping businesses. We are the university-backed incubator for Stellenbosch University, owned by Innovus, which is then the tech transfer partner for Stellenbosch University. Our real core mission, what we really look to do, is to help build businesses from the university. So take some of the incredible research, intellectual property, and ideas that you all have and turn them into businesses and help you get your ideas out into the public sphere and hopefully be able to have great impact by doing that. We really exist in that 0 to 1 aspect of business building, taking an idea and turning it into a business. And we do work with not only technology transfer from the university, but businesses from all over Africa and all over the world. And so that's a really cool opportunity to not only work with faculty within Stellenbosch University, but to grow and learn and experience others from different cultures and different countries. Our vision is by 2025, we will be the world's go-to destination for what we call globally conscious startup activity. We want to build businesses that have impact, that really do positively impact society, and we do feel agri-sciences is an incredible place to start. The difficulties around whether it's food security, whether it's sustainable farming practices, whether it's increasing your crop yields, whatever that may be, are core to Agri and are very well suited and served by the Agri-Sciences department. So by 2025, wherever you are in the world, if you want to build the hard business, if you want to build a business that matters, we really want everyone to look up and say, I need to go to Stellenbosch. I need to work with Stellenbosch University LaunchLab and the Agri-Sciences faculty in order to build that business. And we look to all of you to not only help start these businesses, but also to serve as really great partners in the building of these businesses, which will give you an awesome experience in startup activity. So between LaunchLab, Innovus, and the university, as well as Agri-Sciences, we have a couple of different mandates. One is we really want to turn and transform Stellenbosch University into Africa's leading entrepreneurial hub and faculty, but for the world. If we can turn some of all of you from employees to employers, that would be a big win. If we can create private sector jobs, that would be a big win. So we really need to think about, especially coming out of the pandemic, how do we give you the tools to be able to take that path? We also want to build high impact, sustainable companies from the university. How do we bring your research and ideas to bear in the private or public sphere? And we can help you do that. And lastly, we want to again turn Stellenbosch into Africa's best knowledge region. We have all the pieces here we need. We have incredibly smart people, we have the university, we have intellectual property, corporates, venture capital. We just need to pull all those things together to be able to build these high impact sustainable businesses. And we have this great collaboration between the university, Innovus, LaunchLab, and Agri-Sciences to make that happen. And I want to be very clear, there's been entrepreneurial activity in the past, but we're bringing everything together today as one united front and being able to bring this to all of you, which is a big difference and a big change in the model. So how do we do that? How do we grow entrepreneurism? How do we do it together? Well, first of all, we have to really think about empathy building. We've conducted over 100 interviews with different people, researchers, students, deans across not only agri-sciences, but across the entire university, across the entire ecosystem. And we've heard a number of things, and we really have to listen to our customers, which are all of you. We've heard that there's not always a clear entrepreneurial path. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do next. I did a hackathon. What do I do next? I did a webinar. Where do I go with this? I did a big NPD project. What do I do with it? We want to give you some insights on where the next step is in that entrepreneurial journey. We heard it's difficult to find time. We've heard it's difficult to be incentivized to do these things because you're teaching, you're producing reports, you're doing things that are more core to what you do. When do you have time for entrepreneurism? How do we create that culture where people really are incentivized and passionate about building businesses and about building themselves as entrepreneurs? How do we help you build your business? A lot of you are incredibly gifted technically, but there's another side of building a business, which is the feasibility of the actual, not only tech, but the business model. And how do we infuse that into everything you're doing? And then how do we bring that to the curriculum? How are we making some of your curriculum more experiential? How are we giving you some real world opportunities to put your learnings to work? And so from that, what do? We attempt to transform seemingly impossible ideas into world shaping businesses. We do it very early stage. We're going to work with you, and even when these things are ideas and they're not businesses, and that is a big difference. An idea is very different than a viable business. And we help to think about how to partner you with the external ecosystem. That could be corporates, that could be investors, that could be angels. We just have to figure out how do we take your ideas and bring them to bear. Always understand that they are your ideas and that we're helping in that process. And we are focused primarily on agri, health, and climate, because those are things the university is incredibly good at. We're passionate about building, and we believe that Africa and the global South really need. And we have Stellenbosch University as our foundation. The brand, the people, the facilities, the human capital is unparalleled in Africa. And we believe that we can do a lot with these resources from the university to create impact. So what does that entrepreneurial journey look like? And I think this is very important. A lot of people think of entrepreneurism and they say, well, it just feels like this black hole. Where do I go with this? What do I do with it? Well, we say it really has 4 steps. There's inspire, build, grow, and support. In helping inspire, we're going to be doing things like webinars, informational talks, office hours, even fellowships. So if you want to come work with LaunchLab or come work with one of our companies and take a really low risk way to try out working at a startup, we want to facilitate that process. And you're going to hear about a number of different webinars and other opportunities to work with LaunchLab and to have that inspirational opportunity. In terms of building, if you really want to be an entrepreneur, you can't read a book. You can't say, I'm an entrepreneur. You have to build something. And so we are doing things like hackathons, student pitch competitions, design thinking workshops. And then we start getting into some of our more robust courses. And I'll go through these in a minute as well. But we have things like Countdown, Business Validation, or Liftoff, SME Growth, which will give you an opportunity to start transforming your ideas into viable businesses. Our flagship incubator is called Supernova. And this is where we get into the grow stage. So you've been inspired, you've built something, and now how do we grow? And so Supernova is our 0 to 1 44-week incubator. This is focused on world-shaping ideas in agri, health, and climate. Here, we effectively become your co-founder. We're going to work with you to transform your idea and your business into something that can be world-shaping and add different elements to your overall business that maybe you don't have already. So if you're really good at building a product, we can be really good at getting it to market. If you're really good at new technology, we can think about how do we fund it. So it does take a village to build a company, and that's the premise behind Grow and the Supernova program. And then lastly, we know that being on the entrepreneurial path can be lonely. I've been an entrepreneur for almost 20 years, and along that path, you want support. You want a community. You want people to learn from. You also want a shoulder to cry on, because there will be difficult days, or someone to toast and sip a beer with when things go really well. So we have Orbit, which is our alumni membership. For someone who's gone through a program at LaunchLab, you can become part of our alumni community. We have Satellite, which is our hot desk community. So you can come and work at LaunchLab and be part of that great entrepreneurial feel for what we're building. And then you can also receive expert mentoring from groups that are affiliated and associated with LaunchLab. In terms of our programs, I'm going to go through these relatively quickly, but again, this is really the stages of building a business. First off, we have Countdown. Countdown is an 8-week business validation course. I have an idea, but is it a business? And that really helps you take something and say, okay, am I going to spend the next couple of years of hard work really trying to build this thing out? Or is it just an idea? And that really is the first rung of that entrepreneurial journey. And you are starting to de-risk an idea and build a business. If you have built that business and you say, okay, I want to move forward, you can go into something called Liftoff. Liftoff is a 22-week SME growth program. So now you're starting to have a business. You probably have a couple customers. You are starting to build out a team. Well, how do you build out the right entrepreneurial development, business development, and foundations for scale so that you can grow that business? If that business is world shaping, If it's focused on agri, climate, or health, then you could move on to Supernova. Supernova is our flagship 44-week incubator where we're trying to turn these businesses into world-shaping companies. And so that's getting you ready for Series A, that's signing a big commercial contract, that's building out your team, that's really getting you to the next phase of scale. And then, as I said, we always have our alumni club. We know that you need support along that journey. We know that this learning and community doesn't stop at some point, that you always need to keep going back to that. So Orbit allows you to stay within the community and continue to learn and continue to work with other entrepreneurs who are building businesses as well. And now we are very actively working with the AgriSciences faculty. And so we've created what we call the Innovation Committee. So this was born by Prof. Stan, who is the COO of the university, by Dean Brink, who is obviously your dean of the faculty here at Ag Sciences, Anita Nell, the CEO of Innovus, and myself. And so I would say that this is a very strong commitment towards the university, AgriSciences, Innovus, and LaunchLab, all coming together in a united front to say, let's grow entrepreneurism, let's have a plan, let's have a strategy, and let's put funds behind that. We then put together an executive committee made up of Kennedy, Albert, Madeline from Innovus, and myself. And this EXCO starts to set the agenda for what we're going to be doing in entrepreneurial, with our entrepreneurial tools in Ag Sciences for the next 6, 12, 18 months. And then we have a number of faculty members, and you can see them here, who are involved in the committee, because it's very important to have our grassroots aspect of all this. We want to make sure that we're bringing different entrepreneurial tools and different programs to all of you that are informed by all of you. So you can really think of this as coming from the top down through heads of your faculty to all of you, so you can be involved and you can have a voice in all this. And the big idea here is that we want you all to know when things are happening, how you can be involved, and if you do something, what happens next. There is a journey here that we want you all to go on if you want to be part of it and be able to experience that. So this is a very united, collaborative, strategic front. So what are we doing in the next couple of weeks and months? Very soon, on October 16th, we're going to have a fireside chat with Prof. Stan, Dean Brink, and maybe a few others. And we're going to talk about this strategy and really start to help you all understand why entrepreneurism is so important and why we're all putting time, money, and effort behind building this program and building this strategy for all of you. At the end of October, we want to bring a successful entrepreneur that came out of AgriSciences to tell you all about that journey, to start demystifying that you can take an idea, you can build it into a business, and it can be successful. So start giving you some of those success stories to help inspire you. We're also in early November going to start hosting office hours. This means we'll set aside probably 90 minutes every week with someone from Ag Sciences, LaunchLab, and Innovus, where you can just come and ask questions. If you have an idea that you want to get more information on, if you don't understand something, if you just want to talk about entrepreneurism, we're there for you. And we want to make ourselves very available so that we can offer that access. And then we have fellowship opportunities up on our website at any given moment where you could become part of the LaunchLab team and come work with us or with one of our startups and get a taste of startup life. In terms of build, we'll have our countdown program starting on October 5th. There actually are 2 teams from AgriSciences that will go through this 8-week design thinking course and figure out, I have an idea, but is it a business? And that's great. It's just great to get started. It's great to get the AgriSciences participation. So I think we have 7 teams. So 2 out of 7 are AgriScience focused. That's incredible. And then grow. Hopefully some of these businesses will grow into something that can be world shaping. We'll start that program in February 2021. We're actively looking for companies right now that we can help incubate as part of Supernova. And then always remember that especially satellite, our hot desks are available. And we're now working with the AgriScience faculty to sponsor a few hot desks for select students and select faculty members within LaunchLab, really creating that link between LaunchLab, Innovus, and AgriSciences. And I want to make clear that our programs now are as on demand as well as running in a systematic manner. So you can plan your life around these a bit. Things like informational speaker series or webinars will happen on demand, and we'll make sure you know about them. At the end of this presentation will be a link to our website. On our website is what we call the SU Entrepreneurial Hub, and that will have a single source of all the things entrepreneurial happening on campus, not only in AgriSciences, but across all faculties. And that will be the single source of truth where you can go at any moment and say, I want to learn more about entrepreneurism. What can I do? So some of these things are on demand. Things like fellowships and internships will run a couple times a year so people can know, okay, I want to be part of an internship in, say, June of next year. How do I plan that out? How do I apply? How do I become part of that? Our programs like Countdown will run 3 times a year. That will all be on our website where you can learn more about the program and apply for those programs. And then Supernova runs once a year starting in February. Same thing, everything on the website, applications, information, FAQs, and you can then plan out how you may want to be part of one of these programs. As I said, really we're launching our website is launched, and this now has all information that you need. And at the top here, you can see SU Entrepreneurial Hub. So you can go on here and see all the things happening across campus. You can also go to our thinking lab, and there's going to be a number of different webinars, white papers, a ton of different information that can help you get smart and help you get educated on entrepreneurism. And then we also have our contact information here as well. If you have a question, if you want to come by, if you want to learn more, always feel free to contact us. We want to make sure that this is a very open and fluid channel between ourselves, Innovus, AgriSciences, and the general varsity to make sure that you have all the information you need. So I think I'd leave you by saying together we can transform seemingly impossible into world shaping. There is a strategic plan that comes from the university, Innovus, AgriSciences, and LaunchLab to bring entrepreneurism to you, to allow you to enter and be part of the entrepreneurial journey with people who are passionate and experienced and want to help you really understand these fundamentals and put them to work and have experiential learning experiences in entrepreneurism. So thank you for your time. Definitely check us out at www.launchlab.coza. And you can also see our email address at the bottom here. Any questions, any comments, any feedback, please always feel free to come to us. And thank you and have a great day.